Was established in the beautiful surrounds of Serpentine to accommodate Buddhist monks and their visitors. The monastery receives 10,000 visitors every year from the Buddhist community, the Jewish and Christian faiths, the Cancer Support Foundation, school groups and anyone seeking a place for quiet contemplation. The daily life of a Buddhist monk centres around meditation as a path towards wisdom and contentment. On the 27th of October 1997, Bristol Limited lodged applications with the Shire of Serpentine Jarrahdale for development approval and a licence to extract clay from a site close to the monastery. The Shire's bylaws dictated residents within a 1.5 kilometre radius of the proposed site be notified of the application. However, the Buddhist monastery lies 1.7 kilometres from the site and wasn't notified. The Shire neglected to consider the heavy traffic caused by the development and approved the application without conditions on the cartage route on the 22nd of December 1997. Currently the trucks run for 39 days every summer, with a 42.5 tonne truck passing the Buddhist monastery every 4 minutes.
So we have to keep on continuing to sort of try and oppose this development and to protect the resource for the whole Buddhist community in Australia and also for elsewhere, and protect this resource for the people of Australia as well. Or at least whether we could have some sort of compromise. And what we first of all suggested, to try and split the traffic so that we'd only take half of the traffic which was generated by that proposal, and an adjacent road would take the other half. The property in question used that adjacent road as its main entry and exit into the property. To come into Kingsbury Drive, our road, they had to cut a kilometre length road through State Forest, a new road, in order to access this particular road.
The compromise between the use of Scrivener Road and Kingsbury Drive was enforced on Bristol until the Shire discovered it couldn't legally place conditions on a licence. Any conditions imposed on Bristol Limited had to be a part of the 5-year development approval, and the Shire's previous approval could not be retracted. Bodhinyana Buddhist Monastery took the case to the Supreme Court and lost. The monks were unable to seek protection from the Environmental Protection Noise Regulations because they specifically exclude noise from road traffic. Policy is currently being drafted to cover noise from traffic. The monks' appeals to the Minister for Environment and the Minister for Local Government have both been dismissed, and the Shire of Serpentine Jarrahdale legally has its hands tied. The Shire Planning Executive familiar with the project didn't wish to comment on the situation. However, the Shire President agreed to appear.
Obviously Bristol is a big industrial concern. They're dependent on getting a supply of clay. Equally obviously to the Buddhists this is a source of irritation and concern, and I can quite understand that they don't want noisy trucks going past them. I think truck noise is becoming of general concern to society as a whole, as trucking increases everywhere and it's going up in leaps and bounds. Noise is becoming a big problem. Well, I think there's a general feeling is that we're in a no-win situation.
Bristol Limited plans to continue excavating clay from the area for the next 50 years, using Kingsbury Drive as their main haulage route. An independent report commissioned by the Shire concluded Kingsbury Drive is unsafe for two-way truck haulage, and the Shire may be liable if an accident occurs. The road's lack of line marking, lack of width and steepness were all taken into account. It was also noted trucks couldn't turn from Kingsbury Drive onto the South Western Highway without cutting the corner. Despite these findings, Main Roads WA has approved the haulage, although it's refusing to release its own report under Freedom of Information. We invited Bristol Limited to appear on this program, but they declined to comment. Meetings between Bristol Limited and the Buddhist Monastery to negotiate a compromise have been unsuccessful. Bristol Limited is currently pursuing a defamation case against the monastery for allegations contained in a letter published on the internet. In the meantime, the Shire has passed new bylaws which allow road traffic to be considered when Bristol's licence comes up for renewal on the 30th of June 2000. What will happen as a result of the new bylaws remains to be seen.
We can't give up, because to give up the fight against these clay trucks would be to give up the monastery here. the time when we give up fighting is the time when we pack our bags and leave. We feel this is a natural injustice being done, where one sort of business is railroading over a whole community. This is a symptom which is repeated elsewhere in other parts of Western Australia, and I really think that if you don't stand your ground and make your points, then governments and businesses will repeat this sacrilege to other people.